These are our goals for this year. And the reason why we have those goals is because we're heading in that direction with our business. So how am I going to attain those goals? And what do I need to do to make those goals be the most efficient and have the most effective activity happening?
Hello, and welcome back to Beyond Common Business Secrets. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Lillian Brummet from Brummet Media Group. I am so excited to have Lillian as our special guest today. Lillian has been in business for over 18 years, and she has such a unique perspective on what it takes to continually evolve and grow your business and expand your network. So Lillian, thank you so much for being here today. I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you, Tracy. It's really great to be here. It was really great meeting you online and starting and networking with you. And I just love being here. I love what you're doing on your show. I'm really proud to be here. Thank you.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for, reaching out and telling us how much you enjoyed the show like that. I always love to have people on the show that feel that way. So it just really resonates with our audience. So thank you for being here for that. So, one of the things that we're noticing now more than ever is that people want, they want more money, right? They want more money, but there's certain skill development. And I know you've been an expert in areas of skill development. So can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Okay, so my main theme, and what I've really become known for is that I never make anyone work for anything. So for me, it is about planning, and not in some kind of weird, anal way or anything like that, but I just really like to have a plan. So if I know that these are our goals for this year, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to have an action plan, and I renew that every single year. And I say, okay, these are our goals for this year. And the reason why we have those goals is because we're heading in that direction with our business. So how am I going to attain those goals? And what do I need to do to make those goals be the most efficient and have the most effective activity happening? So the best way to do that is to be prepared, understand the process of what you're the current activity that you're doing. I'm going to use getting media attention as an example. So a business, you want to get media attention, doesn't matter if it's local or if you're looking for a broader international audience, the process is the same. You want to make sure that you have everything that members of the media might want from you ready before you send out any query. You want to know, okay, they're going to need some images. They're going to need certain kinds of links. They might need to create a page on my website or my blog that services just the media. I want to make sure that everything I have online fits together nicely. So when the media goes there, I'm easily recognizable. They hit my Facebook. Oh yeah, that's Lillian. They can see right away. That's Lillian. So you want that recognition in your appearance online as well, your visuals and everything. So that when the media goes there, they can recognize you. They don't have to search for anything. You send them a query letter, and when you do, it's nice and crisp and concise. Even if you have a lot of information to share, you try to keep it very crisp. And then instead of getting wordy, you would hyperlink a word. So you would say in your communication, oh, I really appreciated being on your show on November 19th. And you'd have November 19th hyperlinked, and they can click on that and go directly to that episode, and they can remind themselves who you are and what you guys talked about without having to go searching through their records and all of that. So you want to make your interactions with people so that they never have to work for anything. That's where you're going to get your efficiency and your effectiveness happening.
So let me ask you, if we could back up on that for a minute. I love what you're saying about, like never having to work for it, because people are like, oh, I want to work with her. She makes it so easy. I love that. I hear that often when I get invited to speak on media, and I hadn't heard it it's just kind of the servant's heart in me, but I love, so this is amazing. So tell me what the media, what's the list of what media looks for?
Well, it depends on the type of media that you're going
Yeah.
for. Okay, so let's say you want to get some attention in print media. You're going to want to have a few pre-written press releases. And these press releases should not be salesman-y. They are announcements, but maybe you're announcing a celebration of one of your suppliers happens to do incredible work that you're really proud of and you want to highlight them. So you do an article, AKA press release, about them, but it also pushes your business. You might have an employee who volunteers down at the Girl Scouts or something, and you want to highlight what they're doing and how that impacts your business and your local employees or something like that. You want to let people know that you exist, you're having a sale, whatever. You have these press releases available for the media to use, and you're going to submit them to the acquisition officer. Most places are going to have that title. Or you're going to look for, specifically, you're going to be looking for the submission guidelines for each place you go to, make sure you know what they want. But you want to have these particular things available. For myself, when I begin the year, I make sure I have at least 13 and as many as 33 new articles written. And these are available for all kinds of blogs, newsletters, print, online, all kinds of places out there are looking for content, valuable content. And then I get exposure through the byline or the links and stuff like that that are included in the article without being salesman-y. I'm offering them valuable content that they want to publish and their readers are going to enjoy. And when I have that ready, as well as count them, 2 interviews that are completed. So you want to have at least 6 questions, interesting questions, not things that are going to be like, oh, buy my book or buy my service. You want it to be an interesting insight into what you do, advice that you're offering, insight into your family, balancing your business, these types of interviews. Have at least 2 of them fully completed and ready for the media, so that when you reach out to them, you say to them, look, I have all of these articles ready for you. Here's the list of titles, their word count, their genre. If you'd like to see any of these articles, let me know. I'll send them to you. I also have completed interviews. So if you'd like to interview me, but you don't have the time, I have these ready for you. And you can, it's just so much easier. The media is just so much more willing to work with you if you make it easier for them. Definitely have that website or blog. Blogs can act like a website, and make sure that you have your about information there really clearly listed. And when you approach the media, try to think about the timeliness of it. Is this, World Wildlife Week? Is it water conservation, month coming up or something? So you might
Or
be able to work
or
in an
peanut butter
angle.
day.
Or peanut butter day and you're a cook, right? Yeah, exactly. Whatever the day is that might tie in with your business or your business beliefs or passions, you can make sure that you get that media coverage that way.
So I love what you're saying. When you said the 13 to 33 new articles, are these fresh articles that have not been posted to your blog yet and have not been used anywhere else? Or are they stuff that has been published?
Great question. So you can repurpose those articles. You can use them in your own blog, your own in-house newsletter, print newsletter, bulletin. You can use them in all kinds of ways. Your blog, you might use them for creating content on your YouTube channel, or a variety of different repurposing that you can do with that same content, and your backlist of content. Every year you're producing all these articles. You want to make sure that you're using them to the best that you can. Maybe you can break them up into like mini social networking posts or something like that too.
Yeah. Well, I love that you're sharing with us about what the media lit, because so many people ask this question. I get asked this a lot on Instagram, and I think through the blog. I'm trying to think that, yeah, those are usually the 2 places. And there's a whole lot of research, a whole lot of answers, but there is not here's the checklist, the punch list, and everybody in media is looking for the same thing. So thank you for putting light, and you gave a lot of new stuff. I love what you said about the hyperlink on the follow-up. So can you walk us through not just that pitching piece for media, but where that magic happens with the follow-up?
Oh, this is one of my favorite things. And actually, it can be a little bit exhausting at times at the end of the year, which is what I'm going through right now. So at the end of every month, I'm going to look at my spreadsheet. My spreadsheet is a 5-column spreadsheet, really simple. It's got the date that I first reached out to that person or made contact with them, whether it was a networking event or I met them online, whatever, or I sent them a query letter. I'm going to have a quick little note about the date, their name, the organization, the website, the content, little bit of bullet form notes. You don't have to get specific, just bullet form notes. And then I'm going to go at the end of the month and I'm going to glance through and I'm going to see if there's anything marked blue that says, hey, you need to follow up on this. That's blue. That's what that means to me. Blue, follow up on that. And then at the end of the year, though, this is where the real follow-up comes in. And I love doing this because so few people do it. It's literally so few people do it. And it's so important to do. At the end of the year, I go through my spreadsheet and I contact each and every one of those people. And I will send, 600, 700 of these conversations out at the end of the year, beginning of January, I start that project. And I have 3 draft emails that help ease the project. So my first email will be something like, wishing you a prosperous new year kind of conversation. Thank you for our interaction last year. It was great. Let's keep going forward, and I'll put a little link there. If we did something last year, like we were talking about, I'll say, this is where you appeared on my blog for the interview. And it was great having you in there. We got to have you back next. Let's keep this conversation going. Or I might reach out to them with the other email that says, hey, you were a cold contact last year and I didn't hear back from you. So I'm following up on that. I'm following up on last year's query. Maybe my email got lost in the busyness and chaos of life. And I wanted to reach out one more time just to see if we can work together in some way. You see how that comes across? And then following with the query letter. And then the third one would be, hey, we had these great interactions together. We've been networking for decades. I absolutely love this relationship with you. You're awesome. Let's get together for this. Oh, I noticed that you're a podcast host recently you started a podcast host. Why don't you come on my blog this year when it's convenient for you for an interview? So I'm following up with each and every one of these people. Even though I'm using a draft email, it doesn't come across as like a spam mail or something like that because I'm directly contacting them. It's very personal. My return on investment from doing that, all the work I did last year, right? I did all that work, opened those doors, created those relationships. If I walk away and I don't follow up on them, that's just a total waste of a whole year worth of work. So by following up on them, I'm getting like 40, sometimes 50% return in regards to immediate, yes, let's do this together. Hey, I've got this workshop coming up. Why don't you come on and be in one of my speakers? Or, there's all these things that they're doing that maybe they can tie you into, or maybe they would like you to announce something on your blog. Like it's give and take. It's not always equal all the time. Sometimes I'm doing more, sometimes maybe they're offering more, so it goes back and forth. We're referring people back and forth to each other, keeping those networking relationships open, right? So 40 to 50% return on last year's work, now benefiting me this year without having to go cold, knock on doors, and create new relationships and new activities with people I haven't done something with before. So it's really worth doing. It really is. It'll take a couple weeks, depending on what you're doing right now. It's moving on to closer 3 weeks for me because I've been doing some stuff online, like updating Amazon information about our books and tweaking landing pages and all that fun stuff. So I've had some delays in that regard, but it'll take me about 3 weeks this year to finish my project, but totally worth doing.
I love that you keep such a detailed list, like on your spreadsheet. Like that is genius because then you can get through it in 3 weeks instead of like, oh, where is everything?
And it's so easy to keep track of things. If I know something is coming up, I can look it up just with a quick search on the little search box and it'll give me all the details. We met in November last year. We talked about this on this date. We're meeting on this date for this particular topic. It's all I really need, just quick little notes to give me the gist of what kind of relationship and where I'm at with that person. And it's really helpful for just before a meeting, just before an interview, or, if I'm trying to follow up on something and I maybe don't remember what we were doing. So I can, it's so much easier. I like color coding. Pink is, it's a great relationship. I don't have anything to currently follow up on them with, but we're in the works of talking about future things. So blue means follow up now. There's something going on, you need to follow up on it, within the next few weeks or something like that. So yeah, I'm just keeping it in control that way, so that at a glance, you can see what you're looking at.
I love that. And I think a lot of people, especially in the creative service space, which is primarily what my audience is,
Mhm.
and a lot of the clients that seek me out, they're always, and I'm guilty of this myself. So I had to learn, this is a learned behavior, right? So it's like always on to the next thing.
Mhm.
So it sounds like there's such gold in taking a minute to see, like, how can we go deeper?
Right.
Doesn't always have to be this new seed, right? Like, how do we go
Right.
deeper and really develop? And I love that. So I think that's going to be really helpful to a lot of people listening. That's like gold. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I have a question for you.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, you're super successful in your business. You're just like such a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, thank you.
Sometimes people find that like, okay, well, how do I get from where I am to there? So would you mind sharing with us like one of your big struggles, challenges you had in your business and what you did to overcome it?
The biggest challenge I've had probably comes from within myself. The shyness, the am I good enough? Am I worthy? Do I have value? Is my purpose and passion worthy of other people's attention? Is the information I have really worth being put out there? Are people really going to listen? So
Yes.
overcoming
Yeah.
that was a big challenge for me initially. I mean,
Yeah.
that was quite some time ago. My first business was when I was in my 20s. I started a business of serving the upper middle class along the lake shores, giving them house maintenance and house management services. And I did that for about 6 years. And then I got involved in a car accident. And that's when I realized, oh, I guess I should have had a succession and a contingency plan. Didn't have that. So I learned a really big lesson and I lost that business. But it started Dave and I on the journey to building Brummet Media Group, which we've been doing for about 25 years now. And oh my goodness, has it grown from the first day it started. We had these, maybe we should do this, maybe we could it was a lot of testing the ground and seeing where we could, bring in the income, still follow our passions, but and how we can work together was another thing too. I mean, you're working with your spouse. And
I was
so,
just going to
and you
ask, is
have a
Dave your
home
husband? Okay. I was
business.
thinking that Dave was your husband, but I was like, okay, is
Yes.
Dave your husband? Awesome.
Yes, and it's a home business. In fact, my office is where the living or dining room would traditionally be. The living room's behind me, so my office never goes away. And you have to get that shut off. You have to take that time to be a couple, but you also have to really learn to work together. So not only is it important as a spouse, in a marriage, but I think for any co-working relationship, partnership, we really need to understand the other person. So we're going to have our own expectations. We're going to have our own list, and we have, an idea of when things should be done. And yet the other person is going to have their issues that they're dealing with, their schedule constraints, the challenges that they're facing, the obstacles that they're currently in their way, the things that are obstructing them from doing what they need to do, or to be able to maybe produce at the level that the other person is expecting them to be at. Not everyone's going to be at 100% all the time, right? So we need to have that kind of compassion for each other. And maybe I'm at a spot where, hey, I'm waiting for something from Dave. I'm going to throw Dave under the bus into this, but let's say I'm waiting for Dave for something, and instead of coming at him, darn it, Dave, I'm frustrated and you're holding me up and it's caused me. Instead of that, I come at it from like, okay, well, how can I ease Dave's day? Can I make Dave, time to be in the office? Can I take on some of the chores? Can I maybe, do the laundry and the supper tonight so he has time to work in the, whatever it takes to allow him to be there. Maybe I can take on some of those chores. I can say, well, how about I do the copy for this particular project you're working on so that you can work on the graphics. I'll send you the copy. You can tweak and proof it from there or something. So, you might be taking on a little bit of their chore and you think, oh, that's unfair because it was their job. But that's not the point. The point is you're working together to make things right. And they're going to do it back, as long as it's back and forth, of course, he comes in and he takes over when I'm having a lot of troubles. And you also have to know each other's skills. Is he really, really good at working with technology? Great. Give him that chore. I'll go over here and I'll learn how to do like ads on email or something. And he can take on dealing with the websites and stuff like that. So you can split off chores, understand where each other's skills are, or what is he willing to learn? Like maybe he doesn't know it, but he's willing to do it. We all hate doing taxes and, the bookkeeping and stuff like that. But can we split up that chore then? Maybe I'll do this, he'll do that part of it. He's
Yeah.
really
Sounds
good
like
with
a lot of
public stuff,
collaboration.
right?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds like you
like,
guys are really good at collaborating, which is beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I'm like more in the office, he's more involved with people. He's very charming and in person and stuff like that.
Field
I'm kind of
person.
shy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to be in my
Yeah.
office.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's good. You got to know what your
right?
core genius is here, right? Like that's good. So do you have you are a wealth of knowledge and I am so grateful that you're here with us today. So can you share what is the number one secret that you've discovered in business? It's like some of it relates to life, but share the number one secret that you've discovered.
Mm. The number one secret really is to have your business plans in place. It really is. I know people don't like to go there, but you really need to have your business plan. You need to evaluate it every 5 years because your business is going to evolve. You don't need to get really detailed with every little aspect of your business plan, as long as you have something written in those sections, like how are your business operations going? Are you going to be doing shipping? If you are going to be doing shipping, where is it going to be done? Do you have a location that's clean and sanitary where you have a shelf? And how are you going to store your supplies for shipping? And all of that. You want to make sure that whatever's coming up in the next 5 years, you've been thinking about in your business plan. And the reason why you want to do that is because your annual action plan backs up that business plan. It says, this is where I want to be in 5 years. This year, I'm going to do these things. That's going to lead up to that. That's my goal over there. But this year, I need to do these things. And so when you have that written down, you're actually 80% more likely to do it, to complete and or at least reach towards your goals than you are if you don't write it down. So it's really important. Write it down, even if it's just bullet form, and then create that annual plan. That annual plan is going to walk you through, like, what do you need to do? What's your step? So say, as we were talking, this year we want to get in local media. So how are we going to do that? What are the steps that we're going to do now so we can get that project happening and make sure that it's the most successful, most efficient use of our time as possible, because we were prepared, we were ready.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So Lillian, thank you so much for your time today. How and where can our audience get in touch with you?
You can just do a quick search online and just put in Lillian and Dave Brummet. Honestly, pages of information will come up for you, all these different interviews and stuff like that. Our main website is brummitmedia.ca. And I also, of course, encourage everyone to drop by Amazon and check out our books on Amazon. Just type in Lillian and Dave Brummet and you'll see our books listed there. We have 6 there now, and we have a trilogy coming out this summer, which we're really excited about. So
that is so wonderful. So we'll include the links in the show notes so that you guys can find Lillian and David Brummet from the Brummit Media Group. Thank you so much for being here. As always, we wish you beyond common joy, success, and happiness. And we'll see you on the next one. Happy business building.